Hey everybody, this video is part of the Secular Homeschool Collab this week where we are sharing the curriculum or idea or what have you that we're most excited about using for our next school year. So I wanted to share mine with you, and it's actually two things. It's two things, but it stems from this here. Now, if you watch all my videos, you may know that I shared this book, The Writing Revolution, in a library haul not too long ago, a few months ago at most. I borrowed it from the library. I don't remember where I heard about it, and it may have been one of you actually that recommended it. So if it was you, thank you, but I can't remember. But like with anything, I checked it out from the library so that I could take a look at it. And I really liked what I saw in it. And I knew that this would be a good resource for me in some way. I just wasn't exactly sure how. So I decided to go ahead and buy it because that's what I do, and return my library copy. And then I set this aside until I was ready to kind of dive into it and see how I could use it. In the meantime, I was on Facebook and, scrolling through them in a bunch of different homeschool groups on Facebook. And someone asked a question in one of them. I think it was about language arts, maybe. I think it was a secular group. And I don't remember their specific question, but I was reading the responses and someone recommended this LitHouse Learning, and I didn't know what it was, and so I went to go check it out. And we're doing kind of a different approach to literature this year, and so when I got on the LitHouse Learning website, it said that these were all novel studies, and I thought, oh, perfect. Let me take a look. And this was one that they had a novel study for, George's Secret Key to the Universe. And this is a Torchlight read aloud for level 3, which is what we're hoping to do next year. Except we're not going to do all the read alouds as read alouds. Some of them we're going to do as kind of group reads and use that as our literature and do activities around it. So when I saw that there was a novel study there, I decided to check it out. Well, as I was going through and reading about it, I realized that they use essentially the Writing Revolution kind of for how they develop their novel study. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily call this a novel study. They do. And I've only really looked at this one. I did notice they also they don't have a ton of them, but they do have some for Curiosity Chronicles, which I thought was interesting. But at any rate, they do have discussion questions that you could use, and they have some book club activity ideas if you wanted to end your study with a book club. And they give you, let's see, there are some note-taking abbreviations and symbols. This comes right from the Writing Revolution. And then there's like a suggested schedule that you could use. But essentially, this particular book is science related, so there is a science journal in here too. I assume they don't all have that. But for here, like day 1, it says read chapters 1 and 2 of this book. And then you do the student activity page 1, your science journal, and your vocabulary journal. So let me show you. This would be the activity page 1. It's about fragments and sentences, and it uses sentences from the book. And then there is a vocabulary journal. It does give you a list of vocabulary words that then your student would fill in here. There's nothing really spectacular about that, and then there's a science journal that it kind of explains a little bit about how you should use, and you are going to take notes on some of the science information shared in the story. So every activity page is building on the concepts taught in the Writing Revolution. So I'm going to move back to the Writing Revolution here in a second. But this is the teacher manual here. To get you through there, it does give you how to teach these different concepts that you're going to be doing in this unit, okay? When I saw this, and I saw that it used the Writing Revolution, and I saw that it was on a book we were already going to do, I thought this would be a perfect way for me to take something that I'm not super familiar with, I'm a little nervous about implementing, and kind of give me, help me take those baby steps, lead me to trying to implement this. So I don't know that we'll do a lot of these, but I'd like to try one, a level 1 and a level 2 eventually, just kind of as a way to help us implement the writing revolution. Do I think you need to have these to do this? No, but that's what we're gonna do. So every time I open this book up and read it, I am more and more obsessed with it. So basically one of the things, there's lots, but one of the things that I really liked about the writing revolution is it's taking writing and applying it to the content you're already working with in your classroom. So you can take this learning writing and apply it to math, apply it to what you're doing in history or science or literature or wherever. And they talk a bit about how that makes it a stronger program. So basically the 6 principles of the writing revolution are: students need explicit instruction in writing beginning in their early elementary grades. Sentences are the building blocks of all writing. When embedded in the content of the curriculum, writing instruction is a powerful teaching tool. The content of the curriculum drives the rigor of the writing activities. Grammar is best taught in the context of student writing, and the 2 most important phases of the writing process are planning and revising. I think the downfall to this really is going to take a lot. It's not a downfall, but I think the reason this might not be more popular is that it's going to take a lot of planning on my part and a lot of me studying this material to make sure that I'm implementing it correctly. But anyway, it takes you through each of the principles and gives a lot more information about them. And let's see. It goes through and tells you how to use the book, how the book's organized and what it covers. So basically the strategies, the first section is sentences and note-taking. The strategies in this section will help your students understand the purpose and structure of sentences and develop the ability to compose complex sentences that reflect extended thinking. The other thing that I really love about this kind of program is I feel like it really helps develop better critical thinking. Is it here that it talks about it? Let's see. Yeah, so this says explicit writing instruction will help you and your students in the following ways: identifying comprehension gaps. When you ask your students to write about what they're learning, you may uncover significant gaps in their knowledge and comprehension before it's too late. Boosting reading comprehensions. When students learn to use more sophisticated syntax in their own writing, they become better able to understand it when they encounter it in their reading. Enhancing speaking abilities. As students begin to use more complex terms and sentences and sentence construction in their written language, they begin to incorporate those features in their spoken language as well. Improving organizational and study skills. The writing revolution activities teach students to paraphrase, take notes, summarize, and make outlines. These techniques help them absorb and retain crucial information. And then developing analytical capabilities. The process of writing requires even young students to organize their ideas and sequence information. As they move through the grades, they have to sift through a mass of material, deciding for themselves what's important, which facts and ideas are connected to one another, and how to organize their thoughts into a logical progression. When done in a systematic and sequenced way, teaching students to write is equivalent to teaching them how to think. All right, so anyway, basically they start with sentences, and I thought, oh, well, I think my kids are good on sentences, but once I really kind of dove in here to their sentences, I feel like there's so much we can do in here. They give you lots of different activities that you can do. They give you examples, starting with recognizing a sentence versus a fragment, the 4 basic types of sentences, and then there's activities that support that. Let's see. A lot of really good examples and activity ideas. And then the next chapter is on sentence expansion and note-taking. And again, there's lots of good nuggets of information in here, lots of good examples. I love that they show an example of how this could be applied to writing the answer to like a math problem. They have it here. I think this one is, yeah, history. Okay, then the next chapter is why students need to plan before they write. The first steps in planning, and they spend a lot of time on the single paragraph outline. One of the things I liked also about this is we've been doing we've been doing a few of the core knowledge literature units, and they incorporate writing into them, which I've been really liking, and this follows a very similar format. And this was the same format that we used in the core knowledge units. And again, just lots of different ways to just take this and make it a part of your history lesson that week, or put it into your science unit for that week. It doesn't have to be the same every single time. You can apply this in different ways in different subjects, and that's what I really love about it. We've got revising a draft. Summarizing. Moving on to compositions. And there's also, let me get to the back here. Writing opinion, pro, con, and argumentative essays. A lot of this is beyond where we will get this year. Assessing your students' writing. Combining our sequence with your judgment, putting the revolution into practice. Anyway, what I started to say is there's lots of help in the back. Evaluation checklists, pacing guide, lots of worksheets that you could copy to help do the different activities. So yeah, this is the thing that I'm most excited about using, and I'm very excited that I can use this LitHouse Learning unit to kind of help me if I'm feeling overwhelmed by this. I think that this is a good kind of backup to have to go along with a book we are already planning to read. So I'm very excited. I think we are actually going to tie science into this literature study as well, and so I'm pretty excited about that as well. It's, I thought in January I knew what I was doing for this year. I thought I had purchased everything. I thought I was good to go, but things keep changing. But anyway, those are the things that I'm so far really excited about getting started on for next year. I will leave a link to the playlist down below for all the other homeschool moms who are participating in this collab. And let me know down below if you have any questions or what you're most excited about using this next school year.